All right, what's going on, guys? Give me just a few moments. I need to do some sharing because I didn't get a chance to share this to other groups. So right now, the only people that knows about my show or tonight's show is those that are either subscribed or that saw my post on Facebook. So give me just a second. Let me see if I can do a couple quick shares because the method that I've been using to share this to other groups, which just allowed me, I hit share, and then my groups, all the groups will show up, and then all I just do is click share. But now, for some reason, it's changed up to where I have to do like a full post for each group, and I'm like, oh, that's going to take too much time because I usually share it out to about at least 13 to 15 different groups. So let me see if I can do that real quick, or even just the ones that that I share to the most. Where are you? Okay. See if I can do it now from this computer, because I tried it like on 3 different computers where I wanted to share, and it's still doing it. It's not doing it the way that I used to do it. All right. All right, so let me do it now. I got to do it the hard way. And I need to close Filmora. I got stuff running in the background that's running heavy. No, do karaoke. All right, where is the Facebook? Where's my YouTube? All right. Oh, crap. What's up, Eric? Trying to get this shared off real quick. I didn't get a chance to share it earlier because the method that I used to share it had changed. So I'm trying to get it shared off to a couple more groups before I get started. So let me at least get this to about 3 or 4 groups. I got my computer hooked up, but it's still, I just hooked it up a while ago, but it didn't boot right up. So I'm gonna have to do some changes to it when I get a minute. So I'm on a different computer. I'm on a laptop. The one that I use for the gaming. Okay, that's fine. All right. Testing. Let me make sure my audio is up. Testing. Okay. All right. Audio is good. Testing. Okay. All right. Audio is good. Testing. Okay. All right. Audio is good. Oh my goodness. Is it? Oh. I need to mute my audio. All right, and I'm back. Still haven't did the sharing yet. Give me just a second. I had to restart because laptop acting back crazy. I need to mute my. Let me mute my mic again. All right, I'm back again. I was only able to do one share, so I'm back again. I was only able to do one share, so I'm back again. I was only able to do one share, so I'm back again. Mute that. All right. So I'm back. I already wasted about 30 minutes trying to get this laptop running and share the stream out. Like I said, if you didn't hear me earlier, I usually once I create the post, or create the event in StreamYard for it to post into YouTube, I usually share it out. I put it on my timeline, and then I hit share, and then with share, it gives me the option to share to multiple groups. I am not getting that. I'm not getting that option anymore, or the option the way I usually do it. It shows me all my groups on the left, and then on the right, it just has a share button for each. And I just hit the share button to whatever group I want to share it to. And then that's it. I just move on. I do about around 15 different groups, DJ groups or whatever. Then I move on. But not now. This time, in place of the share button, is giving me a drop down or a sign to go left, go right, or whatever. And when I click that, then it gives me a whole new post. I have to type everything in. So in order to do that, then I gotta do that each time. I gotta share it. So now, and I don't know what's wrong with this laptop. The speed on it is good. I did a speed test. I'm about close to gigabit on the download, which doesn't matter. My upload is about 20 megabits. Is usually 40. I don't know. It's been dropping down over the past few days. So I don't know what the hell is up with it. All right. I'm going to go ahead and start this up because the webcam that I'm using is running on battery right here. So I may have to switch up in a while. Not going to make this a real long. Just going to get feedback. I want to get feedback from people that's experienced the problem and to be able to show what's going on in the background. And you probably can't hear me because I got the damn mic muted. Nope, it's not muted. I don't have it muted. All right. Pomp and circumstances happening in DC right now. Is that a show? What is pomp and circumstances? So what's the issue? What's the issue that's going on in DC right now? Tell me about it. This is what you that's what you posted right there. Oh, about the it was more than one officer. It was like I think it was 4 officers or something that died. But I guess this is the memorial service. Okay. All right, gotcha. Anyway, welcome, Lando DJ Zone Tech Tuesday Live. You're here with the kid. Today's show, I'm going to make this quick and to the point. Not going to be a long 3-4 hour show. Hoping to get everything done. Hopefully try to squeeze it in a couple minutes so everybody will know exactly what's going on and what I'm talking about, instead of it being long drawn out where I'm not going to get time to be able to edit because YouTube editor sucks. But anyway, tonight's topics, one is about Big Sur. For those of you that's been living under a rock, Big Sur is, well, first of all, Big Sur is a mountain in some part of California. I don't know what part of California, but it's on the coast of California. And Big Sur is also a new operating system by Mac or by Apple. I think it's the first version of a new generation. The previous generation of operating system were version 10, or the way they describe it, it was called OS X, with the X in it meaning for 10. A lot of people didn't know that. Now they've moved on. The operating system has been completely revamped, or it's been revamped to handle a different type of processors. Now, instead of in the past, I'd probably say since 2008, maybe 2007, possibly 2006. So this is something new. To kill themselves for as long as I know the battery is going to run out before you finish. Nah, I'm not going to let this battery run out. So anyway, as I was saying, with this version, Big Sur, which is a bigger version or completely different, not completely different, but completely different as for the way that it handles and the way that it runs. I personally haven't used it myself, but I'm in a couple Apple groups and people that has been experienced either problems with Big Sur or problems with the new MacBooks now that are using it. Now, as I was saying, I think somewhere between 2006 and 2008, Apple went from their own processors, which I can't remember. I think it was the Power series or whatever. They had their own processors before that. They then adopted the Intel processors. They started using the dual core up to about 2000, 2009 or 2010, they used the Intel dual core series. Then they started integrating into the Intel I series, which is the i5 and the i7. And previously, they went to the i9. As of last year, they've completely changed. They have left the Intel processors and move on to another processor. Now, the processor that they move to now is a processor I haven't heard of in a long time, and it's called the ARMS processor. Now, from where I remember, or what I used to use with ARMS was PDAs. PDAs used to have an ARMS processor. Now, if they are somehow develop those ARM processors to be able to handle the computing capabilities of a I series Intel or even a AMD Ryzen or Threadripper series, then that's something that I want to see. Now, the first generation of the ARM series that the Mac have adopted to is called the M1. The newer Macs, which are the 2020, 2021, I haven't researched that yet, are now using that series processors. And people have now been trying to get their hands on them because I think for some reason they're not making enough, or they don't have, retailers don't have enough supply to fill in all the demands. So a lot of people are either waiting for retailers to get them in stock, or they're ordering them directly from Apple and waiting weeks to receive them. Now, here's the thing. With that new MacBook, Big Sur was one of the processors to start out. A whole new generation of MacBook with a different processor and a new operating system on top of it. Now, what does this do for the current Intel users that were using operating systems or that are using now MacBooks with the Intel chips? I think that was one of the big issues that they had, and that may be one of the issues that's happening now with the software. So when Apple made that version, they also had to make it compatible with older units. Now, one thing Apple does that a lot of people don't understand is that, yeah, I never seen it with raspberries. I never seen it with raspberries, but I know I had and I probably still do. I got a bunch of Cassiopeias, PDAs, and I think I may have I think it is one of the BlackBerry versions that had the ARMs, but that's where I remember the ARM processors from. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even know what an ARM processor was. So anyway, Apple they created not only a brand new operating system that moved into a different processor, they also had brand new. Okay, wait a minute, hold on. I was supposed to hit this person off earlier, so all right. So anyway, Apple did a new series of MacBooks which have these processors in them, and then it also made the operating system to go with it. Now, does this affect the old Intel Some said that it is, but right now they are working it out to where it has. Now, what I say about Apple is when Apple compared to Windows, Apple makes a new operating system every year, about the same time every year. I want to say it's September, every September or somewhere like that. I can't remember which month it is. A new operating system drops. Now, from the time between September until the next year of September, third-party programs and apps have to make their programs compatible with that new version. And I'm not for sure. Most companies will get an advanced copy, an advance on the operating system, so that they can make their programs prior to. But I think in this case, they have stopped doing that, and so once it's released, then the companies have to get access to it and scurry to try to make it compatible before their users can get an opportunity to try it. Now, with that being said, the company that has the most issues right now, or that still hasn't been able to figure out, how to get that compatible, is Serato. Now, Serato is usually a little bit better with trying to get Serato DJ Pro compatible with the Mac operating system. But this one is one that's like far ahead of them. They haven't been able to catch it yet. Usually it may take them a few weeks in order to do it. But right now, they haven't been able to do it. All right, so right now they're still trying to play catch up. It's something in the operating system that they haven't been able to break to where they can release a compatible version that will work on older Macs with the Intel processor and the newer Macs that have the M1 processor. And I'm not for sure which problem that they're having, but right now the problem has mostly affected both sides. So they haven't been able to crack how to get it to run on that ARM's operating system. So that is the problem that they're having. Now, the thing that I wanted to ask is, who has all had issues that may have Big Sur that has had issues with other programs besides Serato? Right now, Serato has released several updates and emails asking people, do not install this operating system. And of course, some people don't listen. Either they either have it set to automatic update, or they update it because they see, ooh, pretty colors, nice lights, ooh, this feature I want to use. But then they're not understanding that, hey, you may want it for this purpose, but guess what? It's not going to work when you try to use it here. And the thing is, we don't know what other programs may be affected too. Now, of course, Serato is like one of the primary ones that has this issue. And this, at this time right now, is longer than what it would take Serato to be able to get it fixed. It's been months. It's been at least, I'll probably say at least 4 months, and they still haven't gotten it fixed yet. And the issue is because they have to make it compatible for two different Macs, and they had never had this issue, because when Serato was released, it was with the Intel series. Before they switched over from Intel, they was in the Intel, and they turned down the AMD. So it was Intel with Mac, Intel with Windows. That makes it easier for them. And then they wiped out AMD because they like, well, we're going to have the problems here and here. Let's not deal with a new problem here. So we're going to push that one aside. So at that point, AMD wasn't compatible with it. And even though that you could use it because there wasn't anything serious about it, that it wouldn't work. The thing with AMD was you had to have the right computer and the right processor to use it. You couldn't use the lower grade big box type store laptops. You had to get something with a higher grade. I think the Athlons, the Phenoms, what was the other one? Athlon, Phenoms, and oh shoot, I can't remember. I got the computers right here. But the Athlons and the Phenoms were like more of a higher grade for them, but they still wasn't as high enough for the Intels. And well, I should know because I used AMD from the start of Serato from 2008, and I still do now. But now with the AMDs now, you have the Ryzen series, and the Ryzen series is actually equal with the Intel series. So you got an Intel i3, you have a Ryzen 3, Intel i5, Ryzen 5, Intel i7, Ryzen 7, Intel 9, and then you also got one that's like a server type version or a workstation version, which is called the Threadripper, which is higher than the 9. So right now, and they have changed their statement. They still have that same line of compatibility processes or whatever, but now they have a note at the bottom, right below that says you can use it with certain AMD processors, and they recommend the Ryzen series. And a lot of people don't know that, and it actually works with the Ryzen. I haven't really tried it with mine yet because I gotta end the license off one computer and switch it over to another. Let's see. Instruction sets for the ARMs and Intel crosses crazy different. Yeah, and see with the ARMs, it's different. It's not. Intel and AMD, the I series and the Ryzen's are about close. Now, when you got this other processor over here that doesn't run like those, and I can't remember. I don't know what the operating system was for the ARMs, and I don't know why they switched to the ARMs. I don't know if it was cheaper for them to go with the ARMs, or they found something that's like, hey, this is what we're going to use. It's going to run strong. I don't know. I'm thinking they're going to switch back, or they're going to find something different. If anything, they could have went with AMD. I know a lot of people will be pissed at seeing that, with it being in the years that they never did use AMD other than for the graphics chip, which that was a flop. If you know anything about the 2011 MacBook Pros that has that GPU issue, which I have one and I can fix that issue. I've learned how to fix that issue. So if anybody has that problem, 2011 MacBook Pro that has the graphics processor issue, and this usually applies to the 2011 15 and 17 inch. And what you want to look for is you look to see if it has two graphics or display processors. One is an Intel, the other is an AMD Radeon. The Radeon, I think it's the 6000 series or something like that. It may be something different, but usually if you have two, the AMD will fall out, and you have to. The only one that works is Intel. But the thing is, you got to know how to switch over to the Intel because they toggle back and forth. So, with that said, what I want to know is anybody knows what other programs aren't compatible, because I know over time you may have a program that may not, the current version you have, it may not work. And with the operating system, I think the operating system is changed. It's not you had HFS which was before HFS, which was before um, El Capitan, and then after or at El Capitan, you had it was an A in it, APFS. I think APFS, the operating system. But now with this ARMS and Big Sur, it has completely changed to something different. So I don't know. That's the thing that I see that Serato's have. Serato is probably having an issue where they can't get it to work with both systems. Some people have said that they have bought the new Mac and they got it to work, or they installed Big Sur and they haven't been able to. They have been able to get it to work, but for the most, a lot of people have installed it, and whatever version of Serato that they have, it won't recognize it. And like I said, I don't know if it's because of the cross platform of the chips. And here's the solution that I think that they're going to have to do. They're going to have to come out with two separate. From now on, they're going to have to come out with two separate versions of a software. They may have to do like a 2.4.4.A, 2.4.4.B. They may have to create two different ones to where one will work with the Intel and AMD, and then they have a completely different one that work with ARMS. It's just like having two different versions of a software, one for Windows and one for Mac. But the Mac may have to have two different versions until maybe within the next 10 years or so, where the Intel base will be wiped out, which I think it may be a lot longer than that before they just completely push Intel MacBooks out the door, because you still got 2019 MacBooks that uses Intel. So 10 years, and even though right now the 2011, 2012 MacBooks, the real old ones, which Apple calls legacy laptops, are still being used. I still recommend them. I still like them. They still run like a champ. So now you got a laptop that's almost 10 years old, but it still works. So we'll find out more about that later. I just want to get feedback. I wish I could have shared this more so I can get people in the Serato groups to give feedback, because I didn't have time to get the opinion of those out there that know about this. So now let's jump into the other issue. And Eric, this was what I was telling you about earlier. Now, right now, you see that, of course, I'm using a green screen. And this is usually the green screen application that I use within StreamYard. Now, the one that I use in StreamYard is flawless. I mean, I don't have to do a lot of lightning and stuff for it. So if I turn off my ring light, it'll still look. Oh, wait, there we go. We got some issues now. Now, I do have a light above me. At the time that you saw all the fuzziness and stuff, I was standing directly over it, so I wasn't getting a lot of light. So if I do like this, and you see right there, I'm preventing light to come through. My white shirt is starting to show. Now, as I move away, I got more light. And then also I'm getting some light off my screen as well. So right now with the only light is like above me, maybe about 1.5 feet that's providing overhead light. And of course, you can see that there's shadows only directly down that is putting light on me. I need light from each side. So that's why I have the ring light in front of me to provide some type of light and to get the shadowing off of me, which that is not bright enough. Let me turn it up brighter because I'm sitting back. So right now, you can see my face. There's not that much shadowing, like under my eyes. Really, not a whole lot up under my chin either. So the shadowing is over. So now what I'm about to do now, I'm going to show you what my background, because right now I'm in Studio 3, and this is the area that I'm using now for like photographs and videoing for like set type stuff. Anything that I don't need to be in front of gear or in any of the other studio. So this is a stage area for that. It's not real big. It's not as big as the other 2 rooms. So right now I'm just using it for that. And what I'm about to do now, I'm about to turn off the green screen in. All right, there we go. So right now, this is what I have behind me. And I did not spend a whole lot of time trying to get it set up. I had most of it set up, and some of it fell down because I used painter's tape. And as you can see right there, that's a piece of painter's tape where I had a tear. So I just put it up poorly to show you that you don't have to spend a lot of money, and you really don't have to put a lot into it in order to get the effects that you work. Now, with using StreamYard, like I said, it does a lot of the stuff for you. The only thing you need is a green background or a blue background, which is the 2 choices that you could have, and some type of light. You need to have enough light to illuminate yourself. Now the thing is, when you're doing the green screen, you need to make sure that you have like several different types of lights. And that's what I'm about to go to now. I'm about to open up my OBS so I can show what it looks like. Because what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put on a different type of I'm gonna use the Chroma Key inside of OBS, and I may need to. All right, let me use a different camera. I got a camera over on this side. Let me see if I can get it working. Okay. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the webcam because this let's see if this, I had problems with this USB port is somehow not working. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna have to use. All right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna switch cameras. Or no, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep the. I'm gonna use the camera. I'm gonna switch the camera. I'm gonna switch to the camera on the laptop. So Let me change video. All right, just a second. I just switched my camera into OBS Virtual Studio, and now, and see this right here, this is my gaming background. This is what I use. Why I got so many tabs open? Why I have all these tabs open? Close that one. All right, so right now, this is my screen that I use to game with. And as you can see, I have myself down in the corner. Now, with this being a gaming screen, this is about the only amount that I need to show, because I don't want it to take up a whole lot of my game. I just want to put myself small portion of the corner so you can see the rest of the game. Now, of course, the screen ends about right here. Is for vertical about right here in both areas. So back this way and down that way, and the rest of the screen all the way back, of course, off the side here. Now let me make it full screen. All right, now this is full screen. Now, like I say, of course, you saw the screen a second ago, and right now you can kind of tell that the lighting is not as good. But when I do like this, you don't see that patch in the back. So lighting your green screen is important. Right now, my green screen is black because I don't have any type of background on it. When I add an image, when I impose an image to the back, then it will add the Chroma Key effect. So right now it's just black by default. Now with the inappropriate or not correct type of light, you would have stuff to happen like I said, this is the piece of tape that I had. I had a rip in it. So I had a green piece of tape. And now the thing is, the problem that I had is that tape is not matted. It's not a matte finish. And that's what I recommend. If you're going to use something that's going to be on the screen, make sure that it's matted because it's producing a glare. And that's the reason for the background. With what I have here is this background. And let me turn the chroma off so you can see what I'm working with. So I'm gonna go to the filter in there and I'm gonna turn it off, but I'm gonna leave it open. Now I got 3 different types of screens that I'm using. This right here is a paper tablecloth with like a plastic background. This one is probably the best one I would say to get because it absorbs light. It doesn't reflect light, which is what you don't want. The original muslin cloth that you would use for a green screen, which I have in the other studio, in the DJ studio that I usually use, it doesn't reflect light. You don't want anything that can reflect light, like this tape. This tape right here is reflecting the light and it's showing up in my screen. And I could probably, I don't know if I want to remove it. But like I said, all this is, nope, I don't want to remove it because it's paper. Like I said, paper tablecloth. It came from Party City. They were like $5 a piece, and I have 3 of these up right now. This is one right here. Actually, this is 2. This is where the second one began right here, and I just have it overlaid. Now, as you can see, as long as I got it up and against it, now if I have it to where it's all out like this, it won't probably show. And what you would do, you would add light on each side so that it will show up better. That's the second one, and then in the corner here is one right here that I got to keep the corners covered. And then as you can see right here, this one is a completely different one. Now, I don't know how this one showed up. And let me move this out the way. As you can see, this is a real thin. So this one was my first option, and this one was a tablecloth from Dollar Tree, because that was where the idea came from. I'm like, I just happened to pass the aisle, and I saw green tablecloths. I'm like, what if I take about 5 of these and make a green screen? So I bought 4 or 5 of them, and I played with it for the first time, and I was able to get it working with it being close and not distant, and working with the light. But it was hard. It was hard to get it, and it was hard for it to stay. So this one is the bottom of the list for those to get. So this is my first option. If you need something real quick, and I would tell you, use multiple ones. Take 2 of them and lay them together, or take one and, what you want to do, you want to make it thicker or have a dark image behind it. Now, if I stick something dark behind it, I thought I had something. All right, let me do this first. What I'm going to do first, and I got this piece of board that I'm going to put behind it to add a dark. Let me see. What did you say here? You look like the Grim Reaper. You're taking people out while gaming. Taking people out while gaming. All right, okay, that's a good question. Yes and no. And let me do this real quick, and I'm gonna answer that question. Hold that question. That is a great question that I had planned on answer, and I got a good answer. I got a good answer for that. So let me finish this right here. Let me go back to my OBS and turn my Chroma Key on so you can see the difference. All right, now I turned it back off again. All right, and I'm still going to leave it open. All right, now, of course, you can see the difference between the two. The darker, the one that I had that's flat, the paper, it's not absorbed. I mean, it absorbs some, and in order for me to get it to show up better, I would need to apply the right amount of light on it or reduce some light. And what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna turn the overhead light off. And so right now I got the ring light. Now, with me standing in front of it, they all showing up good. As long as you got it behind you far enough, it'll show up good. And you may have to play with it. So if you're DJing, then the closer you are, as you can see now, I'm on the dark side. And this is the thinner side. So as you can see all the creases, all the folds, and everything because it's thin. Now let's take this behind it to make it a little darker and see how it shows up. And it still doesn't do any good because the thing is there's not enough green in it. Because what I did first, I tried it with this over here. And there you can see that tape again. And see, with me standing up against it, I'm producing my white shirt. I think my white shirt is producing light on it. So I'm gonna stand back. I'm gonna zip my jacket up. So I'm basically overexposing it. And you see now I'm not producing as much white light on it as I did when I just had my shirt. As you see the shirt, my shirt is taking the light from my ring light and is producing more light against it. So depending on what you wear can make a difference. All right, now let me go ahead and get into the question you asked. Now this is the question Eric asked. Yep. And what's up, Steven? Steven answered the question before I could. You can use any color. You could use any color. Now, the reason why they use green, because, and Steven know this from yesterday, because I was looking for a paint that you could buy in Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace, even Sherman-Williams that could match the green screen. And I couldn't find it. I searched several different Burr, Benjamin Moore, Sherman-Williams, Vaspar. There was another one. Ace. Could not find an exact color for the green screen. So what you probably would have to do is to get something closer to it and have them to mix in some type of tint, whether you need to darken it up or lighten it up or whatever. Most places can match an exact color. So you might have to get like a Muslim, like if I take my Muslim screen down and take it in there, say, hey, I need a match for this color. They probably could make an exact match, depending on which store you take it to and if that person is experienced enough to do that. Because some people, they just work in the department, they don't really know how to do the equipment correctly or whatever. So the question that you asked, does it have to be green? Yes and no. The two primary colors that you can use are blue and green. Now, the thing is, any shade of green will work if you have the right lighting applied to it. And if you have the settings, if you go into like your OBS, there's different settings that you can apply to change the variations of how your chroma key show up. So you have to go into it and change it. Now, with that being said, now say for instance, if I had any green on right now, so usually this is probably what I'm going to wear, because sometimes I may wear something and it'll mess up the background or whatever. So usually probably from now on, I have on like a white t-shirt and maybe this jacket. And I have this jacket and it's had on because it's been cold, especially yesterday. I was down here and I had to pull out electric heater. It's been cold down here in the basement. So I've been having to have a jacket on whenever I'm down here working. So the colors that you have on will affect what your chroma key looks like. And as you can see, depending on how I'm raising my arm or whatever, is how light is reflecting off me and onto my background. Now, the thing is that you have to do, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull one out because I got like several of them. You need to have some type of light source. Wait, hold on. Before I do that, let me mention this too. Now, with the question. Now, I said that with the chroma key, green is the primary color, and it's a certain specific shade of green. I have the hex key, the hex number for it. If you want to look it up, you could put it in Photoshop and find it, or any other video or audio application to find with the green screen. There's two shades. There's original, and then there's what they call a video safe key, which provides two different shades. And I tried looking up both, and I haven't been able to find like a perfect match. I found something close, but not a perfect match, which if you do find something close, it should work. It should work with no problem. So that's what you want to use. Now, I would say use green more than blue, because like I have on blue right now. I also have on blue jeans. So if I was doing a full pose with my jeans, then it will blend into the screen. And basically with what I have now, if I change it to blue, or if I was using a blue background, it would just wipe everything completely out except for my hands and my face. And if I put my hood on, my head would probably disappear too. You just only see this much of my face and my hands if my hands are not in my pocket. So that will be kind of interesting to see how that will look if I change it to blue. I'm gonna try that real quick. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm going into OBS, and let me do a screen share so you can see what I'm doing. Application. All right, so now I'm in OBS. And in OBS, you can change it. And I've never thought that the primary colors are RGB. So red, blue, green. Your magenta would be your red, then you got your blue and your green. I'm gonna switch it over to blue, and that's what it looks like. Now I don't know why it's doing all the other colors, like the yellow. Well, is that the yellow? Yeah, the yellow. It's also taking out the yellow. So this would not be good. Now with the light and stuff on my face, as you can see, it's producing very hard shadows. So blue, even though I have on blue and it's taken away, and even with my white, it's not even using white. So right now I have my jacket completely open. Yep, definitely Green Reaper now. So I wouldn't recommend using don't use blue. Don't use blue as your backdrop. And I'm just going to see what it does when I change it, when I try magenta. And the only thing it's going to do is the Superman logo, which is like a shade of red. Because I don't have anything red on me. My lips, it looked like I got smoker lips, like I've been smoking. Like I've been smoking weed or something. Let's take that off. Now, what you could do, like say for instance, with this lighter one, if you had a backdrop and it was real light like this, you could go in and change it or get it close to that color. Let's see. Oh, this is a green. All right, let's try that. But see, now the thing is, it affects everything else too. Even though I'm in the classic green, it's also affect my blue, which any variant shades it will affect. So I guess apparently in order for it to work, which you see now, you can't tell the difference. This is the thinner one. And as long as it's not producing any, which right here you see that it's producing, there's light on it. If I knock all the light off of it, it would work, but it's also going to play with all your other colors too. So let's go back and I'm going to do a hard green. Let me try to remember. I want to say it's B140. This is the actual green screen color. And let me. And see, like I said, you're going to have to play with the settings on it. Yeah, it should be I think B140. Hold on a second. Where are you? Just had you up earlier. Okay, so this color right here, the 00B40, B140 is the original. If you go in here and you know what? Yeah, it should be the same because that's also a hex. And I'm not getting the, let's see, there we go. This is the actual green screen color. And let me make everything default. It's using a different color than what because the other color was 9933, which is a darker shade. Which, like I say, you have to play around But of course, you see now it's messing with my clothing, and it may be affected on the camera. Let me switch over to my other camera. So go back to StreamYard. And it's probably not going to work because I don't have, well, yeah, I don't have the camera. All right, so now still using the webcam. Let me go back to my original. All right, there we go. So now I'm back to my original camera. And now what this is a box light. What this does, it produces a nice, soft, white light. And this is a cover. You want to use this. It's like a diffuser cover. And all it is that it has like foil inside of it, a foil lining. Has a foil lining inside of it. And then there's a big light bulb, which this one does not have one in it. Let me see if I can grab one. And the light bulbs are special. You just can't use any specific or certain light in it. You have to get certain lights, and I'm not for sure that the ones that I'm grabbing right now are in the box. Kind of feels light, so I think I already have these out. Yep, these boxes are empty. But the lights that I have, and let me hold up a box. And there's two lights in this box. The company is LS, and they're 120 volts, 45 watt bulbs. And like I said, these are bulbs that are specifically used for these type of lights. They're real soft. They're what is this? Is this halogen? All right, so here's one of the light bulbs. This is what the light bulb look like. I'm not for sure what they retail. I want to say it may be like about maybe $30 a piece. They're not cheap. This one is rated at 5,500 kelvins. And the kelvins will determine whether it's a white light or whether it's a warm light. And a warm light is more like the incandescent bulbs that we grew up with. These bulbs right here are much wiping out the incandescent bulbs. Everybody now is going from the incandescent bulbs to either these type bulbs, halogen bulbs, or the LED bulbs. The LED bulbs can produce different shades of colors, like the ring light. The ring light is all LED. So with the ring light, you can produce different types depending on what type of LEDs that you have in it. If you just have basic white, then it will give you white. If you got RGB LEDs in it, then you can produce a more of a warm or close to a yellow. But these are the bulbs that you would use in this. And now it produces, what it does, it gives you a direct light, but not so direct to where your image that you're applying it to will be oversaturated in it. So, and it uses the whole interior to produce that light. So you're not getting a direct light from here. You're getting light from the whole area of the inside. And then you have this diffuser over it to keep it regulated. And that's what, with anything you use, you want to make sure that you have something on it to keep it regulated to where it's not oversaturated. And if I can get this to where I have my plugs, you can see how soft it is. Now, I may be able to get it here, but hey, hold on, need to get an extension. I don't know if I want to use it. All right, where is my... So now I have an extension, which is not very long, but all right. Now the reason that I got this green screen in here set up now because my son had a talent show. He has a talent show. They're doing the virtual talent show this year. So I already sent in an audition submission, and now he has the final project that he has to do. He's doing Michael Jackson. What is it? I want to be. Oh man, I heard the song so much I forgot it now. But he's doing a Michael Jackson song, and we did the audition video in the studio with the muslin cloth. So now we need to do a bigger set to where I can impose him on the background. Ask me about the background, and I'll show it to you later on. It's a motion background that has curtains. It's a stage. It has 3 sets of curtains, 3 layers of curtains that fold back. And that's what I planned on using it. And I was going to impose him onto the stage. But yeah, there it is right there. That is the light. Like I said, it's not really bright, but you don't want it too bright. No, not want to be starting. So I want to be where you are. I want to be where you are. Hit me up after. Yep, that's the video, and I'll show you the video, the submission video. So this is the light with it on. It's not, like I said, it's not really bright. Matter of fact, you can see where the light bulb is inside, but you can also tell that the side panels are also producing light. So these lights have been good to giving off the right amount of light to your background. It's not too much and it's not too less. Now the thing that you want to use these for, you want to and I found this out through a YouTube video, and it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. So now let me move this out the way, then I can tell you where you want to apply your lights to. Now this is the best way that I found, trial and error. And I kicked up my floor background where it's all out of whack. All right. Now, from where I am right now, this is how you want to be lit up. You need at least 3, I would say 4, between 3 to 5 lights, depending on the lights that you're using. I would say at least 4 to 5. He used about 5, so I would say about 4 to 5. And this is how you want it set up. On your background or your backdrop, whatever you use, you want to have 1 light on each side, flanking each side. And the reason that I'm saying that now is if you look at when I hold my arm up this way, what do you see behind me? See that right there? That shadow right here up under my arm. You need a light behind you to take that out. Same thing if I hold my hand over here. You don't want any shadows behind you. So you need a light flanking on each side to light your whole background. Now, when you light your whole background, and if you see like this, and I'm going to turn on the Chroma Key in a minute so you can see what I'm talking about. Like right here, you can see the closer I am, there's a shadow behind me. And especially if you're being close. If you're close, you want to have the angle more in to where the light is shining between the background and yourself to where it's still providing enough light behind you. So basically, number one, you want to light your background. You don't want to light it too much. You don't want to have too little. So you might have to play around it to see about where you're going to stand. And usually they say you want to be at least 6 feet from your background. But with some of us, that may not be possible because you may have your setup within 3 feet of the wall. If you have like a setup that's set up out in the middle of the room. So you may not have that option to where you can have your setup way out here. You may have to set up your setup to where between the wall and your setup, you have at least 18 to maybe 2 feet. So in that case, you would have to angle your lights more like this. You would have to have them probably flanking to the side of you, or have them turn to where, of course, you want to have them out of view. You don't want to have your lighting and stuff in view. You don't need to see any of your equipment in view. So you want to have it to where, and with this angle right here, I wouldn't be able to do it. I would have to turn it. I think I can't turn this too much. I wouldn't be able to do it in this area. Yes, sir. Interruptions. The little talent show boy right here. Oh boy. Still. It's 11:20.
I fell asleep on the couch.
Again? Okay. Good night. Shower. Okay, what you going to get?
One question. 2 questions.
Do I need to mute? Excuse me. I need to mute because he's finna say something that y'all don't need to hear. All right, back. Interruption is now gone. So, as I was saying with the light, make sure your background is lit from both sides. You may have to play with it. The first time that I did it, I had to play with it hard as for trying to get the background lit. But that's what you're gonna need to do. Now, you don't necessarily need this light. You could use a shop light. Now, what I've used in the past, I've used lights like what I have up here now. If you go to Harbor Freight Tools and get those, you can find them sometimes with the coupon, with promo coupon for $20. Those shop lights, they're rated at 5,000 K, which is close to what you need. You can, well, no, they're 5,000 lumens. They're not 5,000. The light is not 5,500K or what it is for that bulb, but they will work as long as you have the same type of bulbs. You want to have a white light. So if you take, I think if you get three 3 or 4 of those, you will have enough. You can have one to, like I said, you need to light your background. You need to light your background. So if you have one on each side that's hanging vertically and that's turned towards your background, and the way you want to turn it, you want to turn it at an angle to where it's shooting across long and not completely sideways with it, but to the point where it's shooting across, and then the light from the opposite side is shooting across to where it's providing a full coverage all the way over. And like I said, the getting the lighting part for your background may take some work to do with you having it set and then standing behind it and then turning your chroma key on it, or standing in front of it and then turn your chroma key on and then seeing what effects. When I first did it, it took me it took a good while, but then I played with this. This is what I work with, and I was able to get this working with 2 of these and a ring light, which is what I'm using right now that the camera's sitting on. I'm using the ring light. All right, let's see. Let me see. Header. Oh, there are certain people. Can't read those. Now, you ain't gonna be able to read that unless you're just thinking bad thoughts. It wasn't bad. It was just some simple questions. One, I need to go upstairs and turn up the heat, which I'll do that in a minute anyway. I think his room is kind of cold right now, so I'm gonna do that in a little bit. I'm gonna wrap up. So, background. Make sure you have your background lit. It may take you a while to get used to, but once you find that median to where you have 2 lights that can light the wall or light your view in one way, then you could possibly do it with the overhead light if you have an overhead light that's coming down, but then you're going to have to do one from the bottom too. So basically, you need a light on each side. If you do from the bottom, which that will probably be harder because then it will be right behind you. You have to aim it up and aim one down. And the thing is, you don't want to have direct. You don't want to aim it like directly to it. You want to kind of shoot it along the wall to provide a shade of light all the way across. Because if you put it directly on it, you're going to have a white hot spot, which that white hot spot will cause a white spot in your chroma key. If you don't have enough light, it's going to put a dark shadow. So that's the thing that you need to know about that. Now, once you get your background lit correctly, then you want to provide enough light on yourself. And I think if I remember right, because it's been like over a year since I saw that video, he had 2 lights. The same thing. You want 2 lights on each side flanking you. Now you may be able to get off with a ring camera if you're doing a close-up. If you have a close-up and it's providing enough light on it. Like right now, the ring light is providing enough on my face, but there's still shadowing on the side. It's producing enough here, but I still have darkness right here. So I would come with the box light the same way, aimed out of view, set out of view, and applying light. Now, with that being said, he also did one more additional thing, and this was with a model. It was a photo shoot, some type of photo shoot. Is that you want to apply direct overhead light. Okay, so now if you got 2 lights that's hitting you parallel, you got a light that's hitting you from the front. So you have the light here, you have the light here. But then you could also have shadows and darkness on top. And so what he did a light from a side angle, or no, it was an overhead. he had a light overhead, one of these type lights. And I think it was mounted, it was either mounted to a tall stand or it was hanging. And it was a large one. It was a large one. It provided light on top of the subject. So in the case of that, and I would use this light, and I need to bring it down so you can see it. Because this light is different from the others. And over the few years, I've been collecting whatever I can get my hands on. Now this light right here, this is a LED light. I'm gonna pull, it has a diffuser over it. I think this is like 144. I can't remember, but this is, all these are different shades of white LEDs that are in there. And so this one will produce several different, okay, it's already plugged up. So I can turn it on, and it's also battery powered. I can put 2 batteries on it. Now this is a combination. It has, and let me turn it down. So each row is a different set of lights. I'm turning it completely down and bring it down a little bit more. So for instance, the first row of lights that you don't see, they're not on. These lights are not on. What you're seeing are the second row of lights, which is right here that I got my finger on. As you can see that I'm covering it, uncovering. These lights are not on. And those lights, the top lights produces a white. You got every other row that is that type of light. The other lights below it, the ones that you see on, produces more of a bright or warm light. Now there's an intensity button, intensity knob, and octave. I don't know what that is, but I got 2 knobs in the back to where I can adjust. And then this right here also tells me where I'm at, in case that I may need to turn it off and set it for a different location. So that is the warm. That's adding more white to it. And now that's all white. So this is warm. That's white. Warm. White. Warm. White. The warm has more of a yellowish orange type of look to it. If I turn the intensity up, it produces more of like a halogen type. Now, if I mix the two together, which is, let's see, 32, about there. That's about 4,500 K. Now, if I want to produce what's in the light bulb, there, then I would turn this to where it would be 55. And I think I went over. Right there, 55. And then I can turn the intensity down. And like I said, that's a combination of both set of lights. So both lights are on, with the white lights being the majority. And with this, since I have and let me put the diffuser back on, because you don't want this, you don't want it to be without a diffuser, because then the lights are going to be too bright. And that too bright will overwash your image. So now that's about where I would want it. And I'm going to show you exactly. Now, what I was saying about the left and the right, you see how right now my right side is being lit. And well, that's because I'm too close. My left side is being lit, and then I have one for my front. You leave your overhead to where shadows can show up. Now, you don't want to have your lights too bright to where you're too bright. And just like I did earlier when I walked up and with my white shirt added more light onto my chroma key or my green screen background to where it washed out the effect to where you can actually see the green. You don't want this to happen with your lights too. You only want the lights to light you enough to where you can be seen. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn it so when I raise it, it will be my overhead. So now I got a front. And as you can see now, I'm going to have to, since I can't reach the plug, you see now the top of my head is lit and I'm going to unplug it. And I may need to turn out this light because I already had a light. So right now, my front and my top is lit. If I just do the ring alone, it's not providing enough light. And of course, it's light my face, but then I still have spots on the side to where it's not as bright. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna see if I can connect all the lights. Let's see. Okay, he was saying about reading lips. So now I'm just gonna connect all the lights without lighting my background. I'm gonna turn my chroma key. I think I'm gonna have to switch back over to the webcam. All right, so now we'll step out of view. And as you can see, I'm lit pretty well, except for this side because my light is on the opposite side. So that right there, that's too dark with just the ring light. So let me see if I have enough. And the other thing is making sure that you have everything elevated. Since mostly are going to be DJing and you're going to be in one position all the time, once you get your light set, you shouldn't have to worry about making any other changes. All right, so we turn this light on. And now I need to get this side, which have another light. This one is a lot larger than the one that I have on the other side, which I I don't think that'll make too much of a difference because the bulbs in it are about the same. All right, I think this one has the switch in the center. And this one does not show, this one is not as bright as this one. So I think this one has a different bulb in it. Let me see what the bulb is. Yeah, this one has a smaller bulb. But it's still doing something. Let me see if this other one, I think this one didn't have a bulb. Well, no, I took the bulb out of this one. Yeah, I took it out. So the thing is, you want to have matching bulbs. Like right now, I got two bulbs that's out of place that are different shades or different brightnesses. This one, the larger bulb that I held up earlier, is brighter than this one, this one is a smaller one. I'm not for sure what it is. I need to move this back. So what I would do in that case, I would move the less brighter one closer to me. And I've been kicking this thing up. So right now I'm lit. Literally. My background is there. Let me see if I can toss an image in on OBS. And this is just me using the basic and I'm going to switch everything back to default. Let's see. Turn this. That's the background. Okay, this is the background. This is the background that I was going to use for the talent show, and it's a motion background. So I would need to actually play it. And why do I have it as an image? Pictures, say pictures, PNG. Oh, no, this is the actual background, but I took a snapshot of it to put it in here because the actual one is a motion. The three different sets of curtains, like the you see, there's three different sets of curtains, and I'm not at the right screen. How do I point it out? Okay, I need to do this. Here is a set of curtains right here, then another set of curtains right here, and then the outer curtains right here. So 1, 2, 3, and they're closed, and then they all open up with the one in the forefront opening quicker than the other one, and then they all fan out and open. And what I'm supposed to do, and as you can see right here, it doesn't look more realistic here. So in order to make it more realistic, and I'm gonna put my chair, no, I'm gonna use my stand. I'm gonna use this stand to put myself where I would need to be in the shot. So let me change my image. Okay, that's the right image. Now I can't move it. Let's see. Oh, as for the lights, now you don't necessarily have to use these lights. Like I say, um, um, Steven, show him the lights. Well, when we get a chance, I want you. I'm gonna pull up the picture that you sent me, and I'm gonna show the setup that he has because he has the actual Muslim cloth green screen, and he has lights, and I have those lights too. I use those lights. They're like shop lights that you can put incandescent bulbs in. Well, like I said, whatever type of lighting that you use, you want to make sure that it's consistent all the way throughout. You don't want to use different types of light. You don't want to use white lights and warm lights because it will mess up the setting of your lighting. Now you may be able to do it with your background, but with your foreground, with the lights on you, make sure that they're all the same consistency. So just like with the lights that I have right now, this one is brighter than this one. So you can see my face is brighter on this side than it is on this side, unless I move in closer to it, so it's more light quickly on here than it is over here. But if I center up or if I move further away from that light, then I have more intensity here, which at that point I will adjust the lighting. But since I want my lights to stay out of view, then I will make sure they stay out of view. I would just need to put the same bulb that I have in this one in this light, which I need to find. I have all the lights here, or all the ones that I have out. That's why I was saying if you can get the, and I have, let me see. Let me read the question. I might run up and get I got a light that I can grab real quick and show you what you can get for like cheap. Yeah, what I got mine's in a kit. It was like $100. It had the framing for green screen, white and black, and I had the cloths, and I also have the umbrella type box, or the umbrella type lights, which the bulbs shine directly into the back of the umbrella and radiate out instead of like these to where the light is directly out. The umbrella, it shines into the inside of it, and it has the foil type material, the thermal type foil material, the same as these, and it sends the light back out, so you're not getting direct light, and that's what you don't need. You don't need direct light. All right, so yeah, clamp light. That's what you got. He got clamp lights. And let me see. I might run up and get my hands on one of those. I have a clamp light. Let me run up and get it. I'll be right back. Need to get something to drink too. Alexa, turn off for you. All right, now I'm back. This is what Stephen has. He has a light like this. Now, with the light like this, I would use this for direct light, either from the front or from the side, or have three at like an angle or somewhere that lights the object, which is basically you. This is what you want to use those for, and that's what he used it for. He used it, I think, is at an angle of maybe like this, that's aimed directly at him from a higher angle. But what you can use, this is what I could recommend that you could use for everything, and you would need four to maybe 5. And I guarantee you, this will light everything. I mentioned this one to another person in the zone, and she had some, and she had them. They're so bright, you would want them far back, and there's no intensity or whatever. And that's these shop lights that you can get from Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight too. I don't know whether y'all have a Harbor Freight up there in New York, but I mean, you can find them. You can find these, and they're rated at 5,000 lumens, which if you put 2 of these in your garage, which I do, I have 2. All right, this is what I have. I have 2 in the garage, and they turn on with the garage door opener, and they light up the whole garage. I wanted to add 2 more, but I went with a different type of light, which I still need to put up. But I have 2 in the garage, 1 for this room, for this area. I got 1 for another area next to this one, which is about the same size. I have 2 in the rec room over the pool table. And whenever you see me in the DJ room, that's what I'm using in that room. And I have 2 flanking on each side. That's why I don't use light inside of there. I don't use any of these box light or the ring light or anything, because they're mounted where there's 1 over on this side, and then there's 1 on this side, and they're far back. So that's enough to light like the whole room, except for like under tables and stuff, which I need to get a flashlight if I need to work under there. But these are Harbor Freight, and they're all LEDs. You can find them at Costco and maybe Walmart or whatever. You may be able to find them cheaper, but Harbor Freight usually has the best ones. And let me show you how bright they are. And I use this one. I have this one mounted at the center of the overhanging of the garage. The opening for the garage, I have it hanging directly over the top part of the opening. And I have it to where I have the cord and everything out of place, and it doesn't get affected. As you can see, it's been sitting outside, but it's not affected by the elements that much, and it doesn't get a lot of rain since it's in an area where rain is usually not hitting it, but then it's under something. So even if rain was to hit it, it would immediately drop off and nothing would get in it. Not unless you just spray directly toward it. So, and then I also have an extension cord that's near it. So whenever I need to, once it gets dark, like if I'm washing the car or whatever, and it gets dark, then I drop the cord down, and then there's an extension cord nearby that I plug it into, and then I have extra light to work with outside. So like these are real bright. In the case of lighting your background, you would want it to go parallel with your wall, maybe about a foot off, and just shoot it straight down. Don't tilt it toward the wall to where it's aimed toward the wall. Shoot it straight down and let the light from the side comes off, and it'll also provide light for you. So in some cases, if you can get the right spot, and if you're close enough, this can provide enough light for you and your background if you put it between yourself and the wall, because they're that bright. And now they have some brighter, which I kind of hate now, because the ones that they have now, the newer ones that they have an outlet at the opposite end to where you can chain multiple lights together, which is what I need in areas that I have multiple lights. So I may pull these down and go and get those lights and use these lights in place of what I'm doing now, or have them to where I can take them out if I need to do something mobile. But like I said, it is super bright. And like I said, if you use this, and you see, even with OB, it's washing out my background. That's too bright. I would want to tilt it to where it's going down the wall. But now, if I have it aimed right, it could do my background and myself. That's what happens when you have it too bright. And so, like I said, these lights, if you're using these lights, don't use these to do your background. Do like what Steven, he has it on himself. So you would want to have it to where it will light up you in your shot. But you could use 2 of these to light your background. So you could get 2 of these, and the rest of them, you can use these, or you can use more of these. But the thing is, if you're using these for yourself, they're going to need to be further off. As you can see right now, this is an arm length away, and it's just as bright as the box light. This is the box light that's lighting me up now. Now I'm turning it around to where I'm being lit. And now if I do the same thing from the side, now I'm gonna turn off all my box lights. All right, turning off the left, turning off the right one. All right, now I'm turning off the overhead. All right, now the only light that I have on me, now is the ring light. Now I'm gonna do this from a vertical point of view. Vertical meaning the light. I got one of these lights that's mounted above, and I'm gonna put this one near my feet to see how it lights up. See if I can get a full light. So now the light you're seeing right now is the ring light and the light that I have mounted on the floor. I'm gonna turn my overhead light to see if it provides everything else. So I'm oversaturated with color, or is that just no? I'm lit pretty well. I was thinking that I was too bright right here, but that's the shade of the jacket. So right now, I am fully lit, mostly. I mean, you can still see like shadowing up under my eyes, but not much. But you see where the overhead light comes in play, where you need some light from your overhead. Even if you're not really worried about your head that much. Now, if you have like on a cap or if you have on a hood or whatever, now you can see with the hood, I'm still lit up, even on the inside of the jacket, inside of the hood. So, like I said, lighting is the key to getting it to work right. Make sure your background is lit very well. Make sure your foreground is lit very well. And so that may take a lot of time in order to get it down right. And I'm still trying to figure. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me catch up on y'all questions real quick. Let's see. Okay. All right, asked that question earlier. The if they are you asking, are the umbrellas better than the box lights? It depends on the bulb that you have in it. Now with the and let me see, I could probably pull one out. Now with the like I said, the box lights does direct light, but it has a diffuser over it. So it's not overly intensing the light towards whatever object that is aiming. Is spreading the light out in the same different brightness, as opposed to if I take the diffuser off, then it could possibly create a hot spot somewhere. But the other thing you got to think about it too is that, well, with this light, the diffuser keeps it from having intense light. It takes the bulb, shines all the way through the back, and it produces white off the foil, and it sends everything out about the same shade, except for you can look and you can tell where the bulb is. But in most cases, since you're going to be a few feet away, you're going to have the same amount of light. That direct light is not going to apply because the bulbs are not as bright as the two bulbs that I have up and below me. That is the warmness of 5500K. This one, I don't know what this one is. I'm not for sure about the ring light either, but the umbrella is, I would say, if you're using the umbrella, use the umbrella for yourself. Use the umbrella to light you up. It probably won't do as much with the background unless you have a real bright bulb. As for doing the background, have something like the lights that I have below, especially if you have a large area. But then if it's too bright, then you want to back the bulbs off. Like I said, you're going to have to play around with it based on your settings. Your room, your area is not, your area may be a little bit wider than where I am right now or closer. So with you being near a wall, you would have the light you would have it angled differently than the light on your right side. because the right side you got more space over on this side, so you may be able to have that one at a different angle of pitch than what you would this one over here. On this side, you may want to use a light that's not as bright, or take a white cloth and put it over your light to kill the light, the brightness down on it some, and then adjust it to where the right amount of angle is equaling out to what this one is. Let me see what your other one. Yeah, it. I mean, I can't even tell now. The one outside, yeah, they're about the same. I think this one, since I don't use this one as much as this one, because this one, whenever I turn the lights on down here, it's always on. But yeah, they are super bright. That was the thing that attracted me to it, that I'm like, these things are bright. And I think the first time that I bought them, I bought maybe 4. I think I bought all of them. And then when it went back on sale, I went and bought more. But like I would say, this one is probably best that you could use with your background, because you could hang it vertically. Like you can hang it just like this. And if you turn it, if you tilt it the right way, you can have it angled. You get it on a speaker stand. You get it mounted to a speaker stand or something. I might be able to hook this one. See, like that. And see if I get it. Let me see if I can get it. No, it's not. Cord's not long enough. But okay, let me use this wall. All right. And I have it over there. And as you can see, I think I have too much. And well, with StreamYard, well, no, that's not StreamYard. I'm not using the StreamYard background. That is producing, tilt it. Well, actually, I can use this one as if I was in the shot, like right here, it will also have my background and me. If I put another one over on this side, it will have me and my background as well, but I would need to put it a little bit further. If you're using the same type of lights, you want to make sure that they're in the equal amount of distance. Otherwise, you want to either tilt it to where there's less light or where there's more light. You need to have that balance. All right, let me see. I know which one y'all talking about. Okay, you're talking about the clamp. Okay, let's see. Add color correction filter OBS after the chroma key, and you can fix you being washed out. Where's the color correction filter? Let me look at that. Ah, okay. I haven't played around with this one yet. Okay. Change that back to default. And it didn't change. I don't remember what it was. Changed it to default. There we go. All right, 0. Okay, everything's set at 0 except for opacity. All right, and that's how Not gonna mess with the hue shift. This one set 0. Okay, saturation. All right, brightness. I like to turn things up and down to see what the full effect is, and then I can come back and find a medium. All right, contrast. Now, the only other thing that I say that that I'm trying to work on too is to get this white shading around the edge. And sometimes it's green, like right here on my elbow, you can see that it's kind of green. And the reason is that because your green screen, the closer that you get, the more it might show up in it. But like I said, I'm putting myself so close to the background that I'm washing out the chroma key effect. So, and as you can see right there, there's a shadow, which I don't want to have, and that's because this light is too bright. I'm not getting the same amount of light from the other side. So, what I would need to do is aim it more toward the wall, and I'm still getting it from somewhere. I don't have my background lit up, so. But then if I come in and have it to reset, then, and I think that's because of my lights. All right, I know what gamma is, so I'm gonna put everything back to default, which I don't know, I should have left it because that was brighten this up a little bit, had contrast. Let's see, gamma. All right, I'm just gonna leave it right there. But what I was trying to do, let's see. Okay, I'm using the webcam. Okay, that's what I had the lock preview on. That's why I couldn't change it. Okay, there we go. So now turn this light off. Now this is what I see a lot of people do, where they put themselves inside of and I got a background that I'm gonna use later on in OBS where and see, this is why I say that you have to make sure I don't have any lights and stuff on. So right now, in order for it to work, I need to be up close, which I don't need to be up close because I need to be where, and I'm not doing a full body shot either. So, and I also have green plastic on the ground. So now, okay, that's close. So now it may look like I'm on the stage, but I'm actually shorter. I'm actually kneeling down. So at this point, and let me see what I'm look like in the actual stream. So it actually looks now like maybe I'm on the stage. I can't tell from this distance what it looks like. And I need to make my OBS, my StreamYard screen bigger. Of course, I need to do some adjusting to my Chroma Key because, as you can see, it's not filling up on my background. So I need to go back and make some changes to that. And like I said, it's adjustment. It can be tedious to get it right. But once you get it and you're using the right settings and the right lighting, it'll be easier. And I think the easiest way for me to get this, I would need to put the camera back where I had it. So let me try. I'm gonna use a different camera. Oh, everything's falling. Hey Eric, were you able to get your car started this morning? Were you able to get out? All right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take webcam and put it over at this angle. Because with what the effect that I'm trying to do a full body. So in order to do a full body, I need to be a distance off. I can't be like right directly on it like I am right now. So I need to disconnect stuff and move it around. So let me change over to that camera. All right, let's see. Oh, there we go. So now also what you want to do, make sure that you have something to put in your place, especially if you're the person that's making the adjustment. So I have this stand and I'm gonna have it right here, and I'm using the corner of the room because right now that's where I can get the farthest distance, but I want this whole shot. I want that whole shot to be that stand. And now I'm gonna make it a little larger. And I'm gonna take out that little wash that's on this side of the screen, which is coming from a ring light. If I turn my ring light off, because that's the only light that I have on, it'll should knock that out. But no, it's the overhead light. So if I turn that off, and this is what happens when it's too dark. Ring light too bright. And so the reason why I'm getting that is because the thin background. Now I can crop it out if I want to. So what I'm going to do, since I don't have it fully over there, I'm going to aim my camera to where it's not in that frame. But now I got to move this light out of the room. Like I said, it'll take time, but I mean, you can get it. And see, I got stuff in the way. What's that? Oh, that's a rip. So now I can turn my ring light back up. And so that's why I say, if you want to go with something cheap, I mean, Steven has a good option that you can use. He got a 10-foot by 10-foot sheet for like $30. You get about 2 of those, you're straight. And like I said, depending on how far you have your camera off, will determine. And I need to get this to get the floor. And see, this could be close enough to where it looks like I'm on the stage. But I actually wanted to be smaller. So now I'm going to change the frame size. And actually, I want to move it over. So at the point of where I'm standing, now it looks like I'm on stage. The only other thing that I would need, and in this case, since the stage lights are more yellow, I would use more of an incandescent type light as opposed to the white light. And the white light would throw off the light for the whole effect. Now, I could use the light that I use for the overhead light, and it will create a warm yellow light. And then also I have filters. I have diffusion filters for the ring light that produces more of an orange or more of a yellow light. So right now, this is probably the effect that I would want to use, with the exception if I do it. If I do it like this, it looks more to where I'm on the stage. And let me see what y'all looking at from. Oh, you had to take an Uber, couldn't get it running, huh? All right, let's see what that looks like. On my feet. Can you tell on my feet? Nope, still a little short from getting a whole body. But This right here is close enough to where I'm in the shot and it looks more natural to where I'm on stage. Now, if I want to do the effect to where it really makes it full, I can add in the more natural light as opposed to what the ring light, because the ring light is throwing it off. And the thing is with that, I would want the ring light with the different filters on it to put more of a light on me to where I'm on the spotlight. So when I get ready to use this, I would change out the filters, the diffusion filters on the ring light, and then make sure that the light that I'm using for the overhead, I would use that, but have it to add more of a. I would have it to. I don't need necessarily to where I would need to light him from all sides or me from all sides, just from the front, because you wanted to give it the effect that it's a spotlight being beamed on you, and you want that spotlight to to resemble the colors that you have in the background, like the chandelier lights up here, which my hand is out of view. The chandelier lights up here, and the lights that are on the columns around me. Now, when you center yourself off from an image like this, you want to make sure, because right now it looks more natural to where I can move my hands. Now, if I move my hands out of frame, right there, my hands are being cut off. I would want to limit from going this far. This as far as I want to go this way, and I could go further that way. Or basically, I could stand right here, and then I could do a full range of motion vertically. Now, but when I get ready to do this, because I have stuff in the way right now, the camera will be further down here. And I'm trying to see if I can, well, if I move everything out the way, I can do it to where I'm in a full shot. I just need to move stuff out of the way. So right now, Eric, did you have any questions, or Stephen, did you have anything that you want to mention? Because I'm gonna wrap it up in a little bit. So what's the? Let me ask this: what was 20? So you paid 20 for the 10 by 10. I thought you said 30. Oh, put that link in too. That's why I want you to join in, to put that link, put that Amazon link in the comments. So let me ask you this, Eric. What's the weather looking like now? Is it going to be about the same for tomorrow? Is it going to be worse for tomorrow? My little one says that we're getting snow on Sunday, and I'm like, well, that's fine, but you're still going to school on Tuesday, on Monday. That's not going to change anything. If anything, I'm thinking they'll do virtual learning for everybody that day. So basically now, snow days are non-existent. No such thing as snow days. Because with kids still being in school, see this angle right here, I should be able to get a full body shot. And the thing is, I got to turn, see, because this is my thin piece. Now, if you want to get the Dollar Tree, what you could probably use it on is the floor. Like right now, my floor is lit. You can see my feet. Or when I get further back, or if I tilt it, let's see, second link is cleaner. it was snowing about 5. Okay, you said 20. The 20 by 20, no, the 10 by 10 is $20. Still snowing about 5. Oh shit. Second link is cleaner. All right. So what's in the way now? No, the microphone is in the way. Now, oh yeah, I was gonna pull this out. Now, this is the kit that all my lights and stuff come in. The two of the box lights, two umbrella lights, but I put some more stuff in here too. Umbrella lights, framing, a frame. I think what is it, 9 by 12 or some type of framing. Clamps to clamp my screen on, and lights, the lighting housing, all that stuff. All that stuff is in that box. And there she goes. Camera went down. Overextended the cord. And about to go again. Okay, need to run it over. And I need to move mic out the way. Okay, so what's in the way now? Ring light. All right, let's see what it looks like. Oh, tripod fell again. All right, so that's up too high. And like I said, I need to get this. I don't know why I put this up. Other than that, I would have a gray wall if I didn't. Like I said, you're going to have to play around with it. And the best thing to do is to have a subject or object in play. And I just pull my greens completely out on the ground. So now as for on the floor, I just got a sheet. I just got 2 tablecloths down to cover the floor. And so this will be easy to replace. Right down. Okay, too far to my left. Okay, so I need to move in. right there. Right, that side. Just need to move the mic out the way. All right, so I don't have this. Yep, I had it till I got in the shot. So now I need to get this out of the way. Can you see my feet? All right, so where's my stand? Let me put my stand to where I want to be able to see the top of it, and I want to be able to see the bottom of it. So that's what I'm going for. Okay, now in order to get that in the shot, I'm gonna have to pull back. Or let me see. I need to pull. Yeah, I need to pull back. So now this is what I did. I forgot I had did this. Let me go ahead and get. Now I can turn that up. I can angle it up a little bit. Now I don't have the bottom of it. There, that's the shot that I want. Now, this is what I'm going to do to make it right. But go in. And let me show y'all what I'm doing in OBS. All right, this is what I'm doing in OBS. Now, I need to take this out. So I need to crop that part out. I'm going to go into properties. Just when I open it, close up. No, properties. No. Okay. Want to right click on it. Go to transform. I'm going to edit. Now, I'm going to cut out some of the left side. I'm going to start with 100. Let's make it to 150. All right, now I could go in and probably should just did 200. What is that? Oh, that's that tear. I can get that to stay. And I can keep that. Okay, now that is done with the exception of this little spot right here at the top, which I can do this. Sometimes you gotta improvise, fellas. You gotta improvise. All right, now got something else. And let me turn my background off so I can see. I got something else that's in the shot. You know what? I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna leave that where it is. Now I need to crop out the right side. Start with 150. Oh, 250. Oh, it didn't change. 200. Okay, that's too much. Right now, I'm getting into my wall, so I think it's about 150 is about where I want it. About right there. So I move this light out of the room. This chair. You see now the floor, all the floor is just two tablecloths, two green tablecloths. And something, what is, oh. And now I can put my, all right, so all right, stop sharing, close. And if I stand over a little bit, can't tell, can't see my screen that good, so I need to. And the only thing I got is the little spots that's down there. I think I got some stuff that's showing up white. I need to tack down. And I don't know what that. I think that is. Yeah, I need to pull that tighter. See, now I'm showing more rips. But I think you get the point now. I'm just gonna have to work on it a little bit more. But now he has it to where he can walk around. I can walk around and it looks like I'm actually on stage because I can walk. And you can see my feet. And I need to move it up. Let me change that view. All right. And the thing is that I'm also standing. If you want to do your floor as well, then you need to put something down green on your floor. Now, if I peel back the floor, if I take what I have on the floor, then this is what I'm standing on. I'm also doing green on the floor. Now, this tablecloth that I use is a lot darker and slightly thicker than the one I have over there on the wall. So you could probably get two of these, or you could get these, and probably what I'm gonna do, I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do paper. I'm gonna redo the paper all the way around until I finish doing the rolls, which I mentioned in a minute. I haven't mentioned that. I'm gonna mention that, then I'm done. I'm wrapping up. Spent too much time on it. So now it's gonna take me a while to get it back how I had it. But right now I could walk around and my hands are not being cut off the screen. So if he want to dance or whatever, then I could put him into that position. But what I want to do, I'm going to make him even smaller. So more of like this. I may make them this small. This is probably actually too small, but it looks more realistic to where he's on, or I'm on a big stage. But it's too small to see the performances unless I got other effects going around it. So probably about right here. And I have it up too high. So let me put my I'm in the camera. So about right there. And what I would have, I'm not for sure that he's going to use this mic or not, but we'll have the mic out to where it's centered. Probably about right here. He's shorter than me, so he'll probably be about right here. And I'm actually not looking at the camera, so I would need to have it about right there, and that's his performance setup. And that's it. That's how you can do your green screen. And like I say, again, lighting is your most important and the thing that you need to get first. Make sure your background is lit. Make sure your foreground is lit. And if you're doing, you can probably do lights, whether it's up lights or some type of spotlights or something that's adding to effect. You just want to make sure that they're far off and that you have the light for everything else. So with that, you want to play around with that too. In your lighting, have your lights to turn on to make sure that they're not washing. That may not be a good thing unless you're staying with specific colors, because if you have lights that have green in it, guess what it's going to do? It's going to put that chroma key effect once it hits objects that has that. So you may have your background showing up all on you. That's because it's reacting to your chroma key effect. Now there is a way that you can take that out. I'm trying to think if that will work, because what I did one time, I had my chroma key, I had my green screen set up in the background, but on my turntables, my vinyl was green. So doing it from a front screen, you can see the background effect to blend in with my turntables, with my vinyl. So wasn't really too much I could do about that with the green. So what I did, I changed a different color. I went to a blue. I changed the vinyls to blue. And then also what I did on my overhead cam, when I turn, I think I need this light. Oh, no. Okay, there we go. So what I did with that was, with my overhead cam and with the blue lights, I put a blue chroma key on that. And then that way I was able to use my records as a background. And what I did for one, I was just showing the different methods that you can use. On one, I made it into a goldfish bowl. I took a goldfish motion and imposed it in there to where you can see the goldfish swimming in and out the vinyl. Of course, I cropped it so you would be able to see goldfish going across it continuously, as opposed to a bigger area where you see it swim off and then come back. I had it to where it was more like contained inside the chroma key image. And then on the other side, what I did, I just took text and I just put it across. So where you can have like your Cash App and your social media information showing across the vinyl there. So basically you can have stuff to where you're advertising on all different screens. And of course, that's all because you have to change your chroma key. So doing it with different colors, of course, OBS has red, blue, or magenta, blue, and green. You can also create your custom, but depending on what you have on and your skin color, it may wash into it. So the best thing to do is to stay with the natural colors. Now, OBS doesn't use the natural chroma key. Like I say, the HTML or the hex for original green screens is 00B as in Bravo 140. So if you use that, that is the original key or the original hex HTML for Chroma Key. Now there also is a different version, and it is HTML hashtag 00993, and that they call that a safe color for the green screen chroma key. Now I don't know what it is for blue. Now I would say stay with green because green is a color that most people don't wear, and so that wouldn't really wash into what you're doing. So if you stay with the color of, and let me turn this background off. I'm gonna turn all this stuff off. I'm done with that now. So going out of that, let me go back to, and I can't go back to my original Sony because it's shut off. And it may have shut off because it wasn't detected. I unplugged the link from it. Oh, no, it was dead. Good thing I changed over. So let me switch over to the cam I have now. All right, here we go. And why in the... Oh, that's right, because I cropped it. I'm like, why is that table showing up in my picture? So let me move in. So I'm gonna do that a little bit later. But right here. Oh, the other thing that I want to show. Now, I mentioned this to Steven earlier. I'm gonna make some original Chroma Key stuff. And what I have up here, and I have it in two different places. What you see right here, that is about a 9-foot roll of paper going from here to here. I have it on hooks. Now I use that for white background. I used it for white before I thought about doing the Chroma Key. So what I'm planning on doing, and what I was doing earlier, I was looking for the Chroma Key paint value for different locations to buy paint to paint this. And it's not going to cooperate because I got some places that are caught. So what I'm going to do to make it more permanent than what I'm using right now, using the tablecloth, I'm going to get like a matte finish paint. And and see, I can pull this down. I can pull it down all the way down to the floor and then paint it. Paint it in this location, and boom, that's a 9 by 9 sheet. I can pull more off. I can pull 3 more feet off and then paint 3 more feet of it, and then it's a 9 by 12. And I can pull it even more to make even more. So I could make custom full-size sheets that you can mount to your wall, as opposed to either painting your wall or putting stuff up. It will be more solid. It will be more solid, and it will have a more unified finish. As opposed, I mean, you could use the muslin cloth, but this is probably what I'm going to do for this, and that's going to be an item that I'm going to promote to sell once I get it done and up. So for this area, it's going to be, because this whole basement is not finished. So in order for me to do it now, I would need to do it from the edge of that wall to that wall. So I'm looking at probably about 25, 26 feet. I haven't measured it yet, but I would pull out, and I would paint each as I would go. I would do 9 feet down, and then paint it on the wall, and then I will pull out more, of course, after it dries, and roll it up so I can do another, and that will give me 18 by 9. Now, with that being, it will cover the vertical space just from here to here. It will be able to cover from the floor up to about this point, to about the height that I want. Now, I may not want to use the whole wall, but I mean, I'm going to do that. I'm probably going to do it that way. Or at least as far as this plastic. So I will have more space, because this room is more rectangular shape. And so I would need to get at least the edge of that wall, and then I could use some of this wall to where I can angle in. So I may be able to put one in the opposite corner in front of me, and I would be able to get a wider space to use for whatever I need to do. Of course, I won't be able to do a lot of larger stuff, but I will have it to where I will have a lot of space to do what I need to do. But if anybody interested in that, when I get it done, when I start on it or whatever, let me know. I'll let you know what the pricing is. Right now, I'm not going to give out a pricing right now, because I don't know what it's going to cost for the paint. So right now, I'm just going to leave that up in the air. But I am trying to find the colors that I can use to do that. And with the codes that I gave y'all earlier, the HTML hex paint values, I have not been able to find anything that matches it. So that's about it. I think that's about enough. I don't know how long I've been going on today, but I went through almost 3.5 hours. So I'm about to wrap it up. I'd like to thank y'all for joining in. If you got any questions on it, and I'm looking at questions real quick, clamp on the positive link. The clamp on your positive link to your battery shot. Okay. Do you have an auto zone near you? Now I can tell you, is it the original clamp, or is it an aftermarket clamp? Is it something that's like fused onto the cable? Because I took mine. I went to AutoZone and got replacement for mine, and it was only like maybe somewhere between $3 and $5. I think I replaced the positive and the negative, because I need to clamp a wire also that ran to the trunk for amplifiers that I had back there, and then I had extra batteries too. So yeah, that'll be simple. Now, if it build up a deposit on it, what you could use, and this is Mountain Dew, but use Pepsi or Coke and pour it on there to eat that off. And then you could use like a brush and clean it out. Let's see what else she said. Need to get a new clamp and cable. So I guess the cable is gone too. Be right back. Double line. One going to the alternator. One going to the alternator, the other one going to your fuse box. Because the one to the alternator charges up the battery. The one that's going to your fuse box provides out to the car. All right, well, I am about to wrap it up. Thank y'all for joining in. And let me see what else you just said. In there, clamping. In there, clamp. In there, clamp. Okay, gotcha. But anyway, thank y'all for joining in. I still got a lot of work to do. I got to get ready to do a recording in this room once he's ready to start. I'll send y'all the video clip in a minute of what was done for the audition. And when the talent show is done, I'll let you know what place that he came in for. The past 2 years in the talent show, he's placed second. He's come in second place the past 2 years. So we're looking to bring home a first place trophy this year. And if he gets a first place trophy with the submission, the audition submission, I don't know, but because that was thrown together. It was what we got out of maybe 2 or 3 takes. So this one right here is a lot more that I'm putting into it, but I need him to be more into it than I am. And I've been trying to get him practicing singing, and I've even had a girl from the church to work with him twice on vocal coaching or whatever. So, when I try to get into something, I try to get into it deep, and I will get into it deep. Steven knows that I've gotten into the thing with color deep because I'm working on creating a color chart to where your camera, you can tune in your camera. I don't know if y'all know about anybody that's watching. I don't know if you know about LUTs, and I forgot what LUTs mean. Lookup table. That's what it's called. Lookup table. And what you do with LUTs, and you see in a lot of filming sets, they may have LUTs too, to where they have a chart that has like several different colors on it. I think it's like 25 colors on the chart. And what they do, they calibrate the camera to output the same colors that are on there. So basically, you're getting an accurate color stream. You're actually getting the accurate color. So you're going through, you're changing the hues, you're changing the gammas, you're changing the brightness, the contrast, and you're going in and going through the histogram. I think that's what it's called. The histogram for photographers and videographers that know about that. You're going in and you're changing the variations of colors to where what you have on that chart is exactly what you see on your output screen. So you're basically adjusting your camera to focus and stimulate, or you focused on the exact colors. And all cameras can be different. This one is a Microsoft camera. It does 1080 at 30. This one is, I don't know what, it's the Sony camcorder. It does 1080, but I don't know if it does 60 or 30. But the colors of them may be different because this one has internal with the software. This one has internal inside the camera to change it. So in order to get that balance, you have to create something to make everything unified as one. So when I switch to this from this camera to this camera, you won't even notice a color change. You won't notice like, oh, the blue is darker on this one than on this one, or this one is more vivid or brighter than this one. So you're balancing all that out and you're figuring all that stuff out. But anyway, I am done. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is the Kid, Atlanta DJ Zone, Tech Tuesday Live. I'll see y'all next week. hopefully we will have something spectacular to work on. And oh yeah, don't forget February 13th. That's what I'm about to work on. Like soon as I finish, I don't know. I may get on Division 2 in a minute and play for about an hour or so. But February 13th is the next event, the next DJ live event for the Pandemic Games and Entertainment Group. If you haven't joined it now, go to Facebook, look up, look up Pandemic Games and Entertainment. It's a group. We're gonna have live DJs that can stream to Facebook users and also games that you can play. With some of the most popular games being poker and there's quiz planet game with a lot of fun facts and trivia. So make sure y'all join in on that. Make sure you share and invite other people to that group. So the video that I'm gonna put out now, I want to look to have 500 people by the end of this week. That's how hard I'm gonna promote it. 500 people before the end of this week. At least 750 before we go on the air next week. I would like to see 1,000 people that's in the group because the more you have, the more you're going to have a turnout. So I'm going to be promoting this because this is the baby project that I'm working on besides doing the podcast, which I've done for a while. So this is the next thing that I'm working on that I'm hoping that'll take off and be big. This method of streaming is the newest thing to do now. It's the newest thing for DJs, for people in general, because there's no place where you can go, or I haven't seen where you can hear live entertainment from your bedroom, your kitchen, your living room, your dining room, your basement, or whatever. You can hear and see live DJs perform while you sit there and play games with lots of people. And it's poker and quiz planet, and then there's a lot of other games too. But you can come into the room anytime and just start up a game. Start up a game with anybody. And that's what I want to do. The more people that come into the group, people will want to do just play games. Open up a room with a specific game, have 10 to 20 people that's playing in that group. And also, I just want to keep it to where on certain days and certain events that we have live entertainment. I don't want DJs coming in and wanting to spin their sets all throughout. That's not going to happen. I want it to be organized to where people can come in and you're not just seeing one DJ, you're seeing a whole cluster of DJs doing their sets whenever they're ready. So make sure y'all tune in for that. Pandemic Games and Entertainment Group. This is the kid. I'm about to sign off. I'll see y'all later. Peace.